Morning, everybody. Stan from Bar Z, and this is week 2 of our job. This is Monday morning. I'm gonna walk around and show you everything we got done last week. We had some issues last week that slowed us down. First of all, my Miller 211 died. There's my old Miller Whiteface, right there. So my old Miller Whiteface, we had to stick it on a pallet, put it on a telehandler and put it up in the air so we could do our high reach welding. My 211 was a little suitcase welder, just died. And I found a repair place, which was cool, and took that in there, and they're gonna have it ready this week, but now it's too late. I'm gonna flip the camera around, and as usual, we're gonna give you a system overview. We're gonna focus in on the piece of equipment we're working on, and then we're gonna walk through it. So let's go look at the plans real quick. Okay, as usual, here's your system overview. Conveyor line, washer, oven, 180-degree turn, powder coat, curing oven. So we're working right here. This is the unit we're working on. It's a 12-minute dry. When they say 12 minutes at 4 feet per minute, that is the 4 feet per minute is the line speed. That's the speed of the conveyor line. And at 4 feet per minute, it's going to take 12 minutes for the product to get through that oven. All right, so we're working on that section of it. And this is the actual dry off oven here. These are going to show all your structural supports. This one page covers all the structural supports. It covers all the wall panels, and it covers all the floor channels. So this one page is up to that point. So let's go look at the oven. Okay, and as you can see, we got all the black iron hung. Like I said before, we got all our high reach welding done on those joints up top. Might be able to zoom you in up there, maybe. Yep, that's all your high reach welds up there. Oh, you're zoomed in 12x. All right, that's too jumpy. We're gonna get you back. Anyways, that's all we call those horseshoes. So we got all the horseshoes up. And after these are bolted down and squared and everything to the floor, everything gets bolted down there. Then we come in and we put a floor channel down. And we have to take a plasma cutter and we notch around the base plates, and then we tack weld the floor channel. We tack weld the floor channel to the plates so they don't get lost, and we keep a gap between the column and this outside of this angle right here. That's a little like a 1x8 angle, and we do that with a block of wood. We keep a very specific distance between the column and the floor channel. That gives us room for the wall panel. So the black iron is internal to the oven. That's why we don't paint them. It would just burn off the paint anyways. So it doesn't make any sense to paint those beams. Anyways, and this is the floor channels get tacked together at the seams. Just get a little tack weld there, and then tack welded at each base plate. And it's more the same all the way down. Now technically the oven ends right here. This is where you're going to have an air knife. This is where the product's coming into the oven, but there's a recirculating air knife right here that creates a barrier between the superheated air and the ambient. Out here, they call that a vestibule. There's a small vestibule that comes out that also has a conveyor key in it. So it'll have a conveyor key out front here. You'll have another conveyor key right here at the air knife, and it gives a place for the air to do the transfer and not dumping a bunch of hot air out into the shop. All right, but that is your oven structure, and this structure is intended to support the weight of the conveyor on the way through. That's why it's so substantial. It's going to bear the load of all the oven panels, but it's also going to bear the load of that blue conveyor you see coming down this way. All right, so that's a Monday morning update. We're just here getting started. Okay, so we've been hanging wall panels. We switched out our reach lift to this tiny little guy. It's actually really small and really maneuverable and goes up. It's got 20 feet of stick, and it gets us up there and it puts up our wall panels. These wall panels go into a floor channel that we welded in. I think I showed you those earlier, but I'll show them to you again. These wall panels are 20 feet tall. So it's quite a heavy 6-inch thick rock wool double skin panel. And those are the panels I showed you laying on the ground. The orange tape you see is we temporarily tape on the rock wool. There's rock wool in between each seam, and we pack the tongue side with rock wool before the groove comes over it. So you got a tongue and a groove, so they fit together tongue and groove style. And that's the floor channel that got tack welded in right there. But we're standing wall panels. This right here is half a day's work, putting these up. And see these wall panels attached to that plate right up there, and those have piloted holes, and those drill into the actual sheet metal. That's what keeps this whole wall standing. All right, so basically with all the steel structure, you know, stays inside. That's why they don't get painted. This is the interior of the oven. So if we painted them, it would just burn off the paint. So they just ship them black. All right, but that's the gap we had to leave in between the actual column and the floor channel. We made little temporary wood blocks to go in right there. That's to create a space for our wall panels. So we made those blocks 6 1/8, and our panels are 6 inches on the dot. So they've got it's a very tight squeeze. But we've got that much wall to build here. Hopefully we get out to that by the end of the day. We roll through them pretty quick. We bring them in knife edge on a couple dollies, hook it up to that rig on one tip of one fork, and just zoom it out and stand her up. 2 guys on the ground, 1 guy on the lift, and they just and then we drop them in and back them off a little bit. We fully engage the panel, and then we pull it back about 1/8 of an inch to allow for expansion. Because these panels, when they get hot, they expand. If you put an oven together too tight, you get all kinds of, you're just asking to buckle the floor channel or buckle a wall or something if it's too tight. So never put an oven together tight. You always put them together loose and let them expand. Okay, so we got this wall hung yesterday. Today's Tuesday, so this wall is up. You still got to get a lid on this oven, but that'll be after we get the other wall done. So we're up to here. These last 2 columns are for what they call a bonnet or a vestibule, and we're working on the ones down there. So I got that little tiny reach lift down the aisle. That reach lift just barely fits, and we can stand our panels up pretty easy. It's hard to get far enough away from this thing to see what's going on. So that'll be this other wall. After this wall is done, then we put a lid on it. The lid lays on the I-beams going across and gets fastened on the ends to the wall panels. Up on top, I guess you can see, do a zoom here, a little angle, a little sheet metal angle that runs across the top there. It's textured at the top of the wall panels, and that's what ties into the roof. And then the roof panels are big enough to span the I-beams and just literally lay on top of them. So they get mechanically attached on the ends, and gravity is with us and holds it down on the beams. So that'll be a lid. And then we got to do end caps after the conveyor's end, which they call air seals. But this is the, believe it or not, the small oven. All right, so it's Tuesday morning. We're going to get another wall hung. We'll bring you back later today or early tomorrow. Okay, so they're working on the lid now. And walls are done, both sides. I don't know where I picked up last. I don't know when's the last time I shot a video. Walls are done. down both sides, and they're screwed to our floor channel. And the ceiling pretty much just lays on top of all the iron. They've got what they call blowout panels. I don't know if you can see in that second bay. You get up from that light. That second bay, there's a strip right down the middle, and what it does is it only attaches on one side. If there's an explosion inside the oven, the lid blows off. It's attached on the end with those little trim angles, left and right. That's the only place it attaches. It just kind of straddles the beam and lays there. If there's an explosion, the ceiling just kind of burps up. And that occurs in 3 places in the oven. They're down on the last section of the lid. The open wall you see, that's where our air handler goes in. Air handler is our blower and our burner and all our gas controls. Those go in. We don't have those yet. So that's what's coming in down in that open bay right there. Alright, so today's Wednesday, and we've got pretty much an oven, the main frame of the oven standing. And they're inside just anchoring that lid on the end channels. Okay. I actually got rid of my big loader and got this little guy. This little thing is so versatile, it's not even funny. It's small, it's maneuverable, it fits down the aisle. I actually used it down that aisle there to hang the wall panels. Super easy to drive, smooth little machine, and she gets up, she's got 21 feet of stick on it. It'll get up 21 foot, so it'll get up on top of our oven to land roof panels, no problem. So I'm really glad I traded in my big telehandler. Okay, morning everybody, it's Friday, and I was going to walk around the job, show you our progress during the week. I got to close up this video, get it edited, and ready for upload for y'all's Saturday morning powder coat update. All right, we got the Varzy boys right behind me there working on some columns, and I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll go show you the dry off oven that we just got to a substantial completion where someone else can get in there and work on it. All right, as usual, you know, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one. But let's walk around one last time and see what we've actually got accomplished this week. We're gonna go look at the material pile because that's changed a lot. All right, let's flip it around. Okay, camera is flipped, and this is the dry off oven. This is the one that after we come out of the washer, this dehydrates the parts, and it goes down around that big 180-degree sweep and goes over to powder coat over there. There's conveyor guys still putting in cross bracing and things there, but they got conveyor line through the powder coat area. All right, and then they're coming over this way. They're starting to run conveyor line through my oven. This hole right here is for an air handler. There's an air handler that sits on the ground right here, and these little panels here make up the space above the air handler. The air handler is only about 8 feet tall, and then the rest of it's panels up there. So that's an air handler I do not have yet. The air handler actually fits in this aisle, comes this way, and it'll plug right into the side of the oven. But all the grooves are insulated and ready to go. Let's go visit Kentucky. Kentucky has put in an expansion joint in their conveyor. Usually a conveyor rail is going to run pretty hot within the oven, and as you would expect, the conveyor rail can expand, and if there's no expansion joint in it, it will buckle. And you see they've switched over to black iron conveyor because it would burn the paint off anyways. Doesn't make a shit bit of difference. Morning, Cameron.
Morning, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I can tell you're focusing your chi, grasshopper.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll leave you all alone. All right, well, these fellas are doing their job. I'm staying out of their way. I'm just gonna shut up and get out of here. They're doing a wonderful job. And that's Phoenix Installations, by the way. Go check them out on the website. You guys got a website? All right, go check them out on the web. PhoenixInstallations.com. All right, let's go see what Barzy's up to down here. We're working on the cure oven, and it's more of the same, but it's just bigger. We got a longer dwell in this oven, so the oven actually has to be physically larger because the line speed is constant. We've got our little loader. All we do is build these horseshoes on the ground and stand them up. Pretty easy to do. We use a spreader bar, which is just a pre-cut block of wood. Then we use a laser to square them up off center line. We've got a laser there. Let's see if we can get you in the camera lens. No, I'm not that good. I was trying to blind you with the laser. Anyways, I use a pressure block across the center. Green dot over there. Green dot over there. And green dot on the target down there. All right. And this oven actually goes all the way down to the corner down there, to that fire break. This fire break curtain. So that oven goes all the way down. They had to put a fire break in because this is all the paint shop area. So if this side of the building caught on fire, that's a break to keep the flames from rolling out on the other side of the building. So that's a fire break. Pretty typical when you're separating a paint shop from a manufacturing plant, especially one that has welding in it. There's the welding area is over on that side over there. So anyways, our oven is represented by this green line and it comes all the way down to the fire break. So our oven comes clear down to here. And you can see our little string line, how we cut it in. Lay a string down, spray it with some bright, easy to see color. But that's how far this oven goes. This is a big old long sucker. Alright. And that's some of our material over here. Those are just our vertical columns and horizontals. So we got a hell of a lot more over here. So that's all the steel we got there. And then after that, it's more of the same. More of the same with panels. Start hanging panels. So all these belong to that large oven. Everything's already used and done for the small oven. The small oven's already skinned, so all this is all for the big monster we're doing right now. Okay. And then they haven't even got floor in over here. This is the sandblast area. They're doing a pit over there for the sandblast. And then fabrication's kind of over here, and the conveyor runs through all that. So this project's still in its infancy. Okay, I got a bunch of emails about wanting some detail on the laser. That's the target. It's a magnetic target. I got it sitting on a 4S cover. You can see the green dot on the line. That superimposed line is with my conveyor center line. That's the center of the world for us. Everything gets measured off that center line. So this is considered an x-axis. That black line is considered a y-axis. You see I got my laser dot there. So I've got a laser dot here and out of here heading down to that target I just showed you. And out this side and out this side, we're center line column. And we're center line column. Now the kicker is to get these things in square when everything disappears all at once. Out of this top, you got a laser popping out of the top there.
And actually, I'll see if I can zoom in on that. There it is. That's a center line mark on the column. That tells you you've got your columns and your horizontal beam built square, installed square, and everything's running hot, straight, and normal.
So that answers all the questions about the laser square, how it works, what it does. This is a Bosch GPL 150G. That's for the green laser. Amazon affiliate link below. I get a cut of everything that they sell, so you don't pay any more, but I get a little piece of it, and you support the channel. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you. Well, we're coming up on the end of the day. This is how far we got today on the curing oven. And we're looking right down the barrel of that conveyor straight through to the powder coat section. And this green line, like I said, represents the oven, which just keeps on going. So we're going to work a little bit tomorrow on Saturday and be able to probably finish this up, get all the steel standing at least. I think we've still got about eight or nine more sections to put together and stand up. But you know, you gotta sit there and square and plumb each one. If you look how that wall is, when you transfer by it with your eye, they all disappear all at once. So that's how you get a straight wall on a big oven. A lot of time and a lot of setup when you do your layout here. Make sure you put in some kind of a spreader bar or something to hold your bottom at a specific distance. We actually keep these a little bit wide at the bottom and let the weld pull them in. And when you stand them up, they're, I don't know, we do them about 1 inch wide at the bottom. And then when you stand them up and put the other spreader bar in, sometimes you have to take a ratchet tie down and just go around both legs and just kind of pull it in. And other times you don't, depending on what how the steel reacts and how the moon's aligned with the stars. All right, but this is going to be the end of this video. You know, this is my week 2, and it's just been a lot of welding, cutting, grinding. And you see down there, they got conveyor all the way through my oven now, so they did good today. Pretty good for a Friday. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining me on a Saturday morning, and we'll see you on the next one.